All right, when you start to create your digital ads, you want to keep in mind things that are most important to make your campaign successful. This information can be found online. I found it online. I'm sharing it with you because I think it's a good summary and it's a really great reminder. So let's quickly talk about the 5 elements that make a campaign successful. The first one is what we call a campaign offer. Okay. Um, you may have just one product, but you can offer um, it for sale in many, many different ways. Okay. So it's kind of like the starting point of your campaign. Get it right, and everything else will flow beautifully. So it's not the same as your product or service. An offer is really um, like a coupon. Okay. Your business is built around a product, right? But your campaign is built around an offer. So let's say you offer a coupon for a big saving on your first visit, right? You may have seen ads like that. The one that you see here, it's a coupon, right? And it's giving you, a great deal so that, you want to just go into that dentist's office because it's much cheaper to go there. So let's go back to what we just talked about. It has the deliverables, right? It has the price, and it's obviously how is it being delivered. So these 3 questions need to be answered when you come up with something like this, right? So let's go back to where we were, the coupons, right? So um, how much does it cost? What do you get, right? That's the deliverable. And then, of course, there's the price in there, right? And it's going to take you a minute to sign up. All you need to do is, click on that sign up link, and that's it, right? So it's very nicely done. It's very simple. So this is what we call a campaign offer. It's not the business itself. It is basically, something that is built around an offer. Okay, so offering a coupon like that is a great way um, to get people interested. Okay, number two. Number two is the ad copy. All right, so this is actually the text in the ad. Is it clear? Is it compelling? Um, does it have, a hook that gets people interested in something? And does it really speak to the pain point, right? So those are the questions that you want to ask yourself as you start to work on an ad copy. So let's look at, this particular example. We've got a couple ones here. Is it clear and compelling? Ask yourself that. Stop going to the store. We deliver personalized wines to your doorstep, right? Does it have an emotional hook? Yeah, I mean, I don't need to go to the store. Or, you know, um, if you're getting, tired of your work, go ahead and change your job. This is where you can find that. So clearly, there's a pain point. It resonates with that problem, and then it's offering some sort of solution, right? So this is something that is very important. Creating a copy that really just speaks to the problem, and that people can really associate with. So that is number two, which is ad copy. Okay, let's move on to number three, which is the ad creative. Now, these are the graphic elements of the ad, right? The image, the video, and when you think of the word creative, like don't it doesn't have don't overthink it. Like, it doesn't really have to be crazy imaginative or whatever, right? It really just needs to communicate the message correctly, and in a short way, and it supports and enhances your copy, right? So it adds to your copy in a beautiful way. It should obviously be connected to your copy that we talked about in point number two. Okay. So making sure that you have a beautiful um, you know element which is, an image or a video, that will support that particular copy. So look at this particular example that you see here. Digital marketers, like one of my favorite places to go to. They have a free version, they have a subscription, um, and they really talk about what's going on in the industry. I love their stuff. So this is one of their ads, and you can see, I mean, this is very literal, right? What exactly do you need to do? Okay. They're depicting the offer, and it's a visual depiction, so you know exactly what you're going to sign up for. You know exactly what the deliverable is, right? Um, and it's just, it's depicting as closely as possible what you're going to download if you click on that particular ad. So that really, sometimes that's a kind of creative you can have. It doesn't have to be crazy imaginative, like I said. It has to be something that, supports and enhances your copy. Okay, so that is uh, number 3, which was creative. Number 4 is what we call ad scent. Okay, now these are sort of, visual cues of sameness. What is that? What does that mean? Whatever you create, the design, the use for every ad that you create within that campaign, use similar colors, use similar font, use similar messaging, right? One campaign should be one big idea. The offer should be the same throughout. Why do we do that? We do that because we're trying to build trust. Okay. If you trust something, think about yourself as a customer. If you trust something, you are so much more likely to buy that product, right? To believe in that product, to recommend that product. So if people feel, that your offer is valid, um, they will consider it. But if, the designing is off between different elements, wherever they see it, they can't recognize it to, and say it's the same thing, then they're confused. Um, they're fearful. Maybe they're doubting it. And so then they will exit and they will not take action in any way. Okay, so that's kind of how AdSense works. Um, these visual cues, every time, like if I have a landing page, it should match with my social media page. It should match with my website or my portal, right? It should match with the emails that I send out. When you do that, you're creating some kind of, you know, um, symphony, right? Ensuring people like you're in the right place, you can trust us, we got our act together, right? But if you lose scent in any way, if I have a bright pink, um, header in my social media, but I have a dark brown, or white sort of look and feel for all my other materials, marketing materials, that's going to throw someone off. They might feel like, oh, maybe this is spam or somebody acting, pretending to be this brand, but they're not. We're being tricked. The minute you feel that, you will exit. You will go back to where you started. So it's really important to keep the same sort of ad scent in all your campaign materials to make people feel like they're always on the right path. Okay, so definitely create that visual flow, create congruency in some way, right? And get it right. I mean, this is such an easy thing, and you really do boost your conversion rate. If you have something that has a ad scent that people um, you know get comfortable with. Okay, so number 5, and that's the last one here, and that's targeting, right? So we've talked about um, cold, warm, and hot traffic, and how we need to connect our messaging with the temperature of our customers. So definitely research, understand who your audience is. Um, Focus on specific target audiences when you're trying to digitally target them, um, and then get that message temperature right as well. Okay, so these are the 5 elements that you want to pay attention to, and if you do pay attention to them, you're likely to have a successful campaign.